podcast. This is episode 104 or 5?
It's like 1,000.
Episode 1000.
That's right.
Congratulations to you guys for making it this far.
We used to call it the first 900 episodes, we called the Joe Rogan Experience, but then we just recently changed names.
Right.
So, is that allowed?
Joe?
Yeah, I think so.
Joe's out today.
Yeah. But Elon Musk is still coming.
Yeah, he's on his way in the Falcon Heavy rocket.
What?
The Starship rocket that blew up. Rest in peace.
Yeah, why
Did
did
it?
that blow up again?
Oh, really? Thanks for your input, Phil.
Is it because he doesn't really know how to build a rocket?
Wait.
He blew up 2 of them now?
So podcast related, Walter texts out, Walter, the rocket engineer who works for NASA, texts out, like, basically chuckling, like, haha, Falcon Heavy blew up again. And I'm just like,
Oh, Starship.
or whatever.
It's
Right?
because he sent them bad O-rings.
Too soon, Phil.
Oh,
But I'm like,
He
oh
was
yeah,
unmanned.
it's terrible that people get to try things and screw up. Like NASA just doesn't do it until
They wait until
yeah,
SpaceX does it. And then
everywhere
they-
else. Yeah.
Well, they blew up some people. That was like an interesting Thanksgiving.
yeah.
And that year that teacher went down.
Was it on Thanksgiving?
No, it sounded like
Around
good
the-
cooking of a human joke.
Okay.
No, they think they actually fell to their death in the capsule.
Really?
Yeah.
We brought this
That
up
would
before.
be terrible.
Yeah.
The capsule didn't have a parachute.
Yeah, they think there's video of it, the thing going whoop, like shooting out of it. They're like, we're pretty sure that's the capsule, and we're pretty sure they just fell. And they're like, we didn't even think to put a parachute on it because we're like, why would you need a parachute on this rocket?
Wasn't there a parachute when they come back in?
Yeah, when they returned.
Yeah.
No, it's a space shuttle.
Oh, it was
The
the
shuttle
shuttle that
lands.
lands.
So, like,
on
I guess the space
landing
shuttle
strip.
has, like, where the people are is, like, a self-contained,
Yeah.
super strong thing. So when it blew up, that thing shot out, but...
a
Isn't it
self-contained
an airplane?
capsule that will fall to their death.
Right.
So that nobody had a better view of that than they did.
Yeah.
They're like very bright and shiny. This is going down hard.
It's like the slingshot from Lagoon from hell.
Probably, like, spinning so hard that they couldn't
They probably passed
breathe
out.
or see or
Yeah,
anything.
I watched a graphic of the what was the underwater thingy-majig? Well, the company that went underwater and
Oh,
it
they looked at the Titanic.
imploded.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's actually a really well done digital graphic of what it probably was like when it imploded, and it was like
Instantaneous.
like it imploded and their
you're-
bodies just obliterated.
You're talking about the submarine.
The most
Yeah.
recent one, yeah.
Oh.
I
I thought we were
transitioned.
talking about the...
well, we changed.
Well,
He's transitioned.
because my
Challenger?
mindset was, I wonder what was going through their head,
Oh.
and then the submarine one.
Why do you have to
literally
say it
would've-
like I wonder what's going through their head when you know it's the fucking spaceship that's going through their head?
what's
Wow.
the last thing that went through their head?
The back of their head.
Their butt.
No, hopefully the explosion knocked them all out.
Yeah.
But when you watch this Netflix documentary, the scientists are like, well, it didn't, like, the trajectory or whatever wasn't like that much G-force. They're like, it's very possible they were all...
Why are they even
Conscious
looking into it like it is
falling
going
to
to
their
change the day? Wait, it's not going to do anything.
Well,
Makes their family feel bad.
yeah.
Plus, it's a really
Yeah,
cool
right.
Netflix documentary. I mean, how would a Netflix documentary end if you're like, yeah, they probably took a nap and went to sleep? Like, no one would care. But
Yeah.
if
I
they
guess it just
experienced
makes
it-
us all feel worse. We're
Exactly.
like,
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
let's send this teacher to space. We're such an advanced society.
A welcoming
Kaboom.
society. We've gone so far.
I'm glad that we're on
That
the
we're
intro,
killing-
but have you heard the
Killing teachers.
Have you heard the
atmosphere.
conspiracy theory, though, that they're all still alive?
Yeah.
With Tupac?
No, but I'm serious. Like, it's
Yeah.
weird. There'll be like,
The Challenger
here was the
people?
math teacher that died, and here's this person who's a professor at this university. They look very similar, just aged.
and their
Does this
names
have
are the
anything
same.
to do with
Names are-
maritime law or the
Yes.
impeachment of
Maritime
1745?
Yeah.
Maritime Admiralty law.
Is it a Challenger? Are we
Yes.
saying the right space
Yes.
shuttle?
Yes.
Okay.
Go look it up. It's really
But-
Because what's the other one that blew up?
Falcon Heavy.
There's
Zero-
only
zero
one manned
passengers.
one from America that blew up.
Oh, I thought there was another one that
I think we killed a few chimps and dogs.
the Challenger and then the something.
No, that was it.
Oh, I thought there was another one.
Yeah. I think
TWA Flight 780.
Yeah.
You're thinking of the USS Enterprise.
Maybe.
Yeah, Captain Kirk had a bad day.
Yeah.
It's Jean-Luc. But anyways, can we start this podcast now?
Anyway, where I was headed with that is the implosion of that submarine happened so fast that they couldn't even feel the pain before their bodies were just incinerated.
Oh, yeah. They would have just been there and then gone. That's a good way to go.
Was it?
Dude, I have this.
Yeah.
I can think of way worse
Actually-
ways for sure. Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah,
you have
there
to
are
go,
worse ways. There,
you could get married, have kids, just sit on the couch, bleeding out of your prostate until you're 90.
Arguably, it's maybe even better than a gunshot to the brain. I mean, they say that makes you go like instantly, but nothing is as instant as your brain becoming like inside out instantly.
incinerating.
But I guess that's probably what a gunshot does too.
But this is
I
why
think the other just destroys. What if you slightly miss the spot in your brain that really puts you out like instantly?
That's what I mean. Some people probably get shot and then like lay there for a minute.
You've seen those pizza. I don't know. You have, but there's not videos. People that have gone online that miss and they blow their whole face off.
Yeah.
And they're still alive to tell the story.
with John Travolta and what's his name?
Yeah.
Face Off.
Quentin
the movie.
Tarantino.
The movie?
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas
That's
Cage. Ghost Rider and John Travolta.
There's a series called Face Off now
really?
on Netflix.
Is it equally as bad?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Is it also not seen by anybody?
Oh, come on. Nicolas Cage. I want to take my face off. That's performance
You
right
actually
there.
did way better than he did
Yeah.
just then.
I'm surprised that Nicolas Cage is still making good movies.
Did you watch
Did
that
you say
Renfield
good?
that he just came out with?
The what? The
It's
brand?
called Renfield or whatever.
No.
Where he's Dracula.
No,
It's
I haven't.
actually pretty good.
Is it good? It's weird how he has so many different different parts in different movies. The last Nicolas Cage one I saw was the one where the Incredible Life of
The one where he's like,
Himself.
he's Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. But then he's in love with that Felipe guy or whatever.
Yeah.
That was actually a good show
It was a
too.
really good movie.
You know,
and
it's
there's another one that
See,
that
I
just
tried
came
watching it. I only got like a half hour in.
That was really good. The
Got
guy that
bored.
looks like the Holy Spirit.
What's amazing to me is that he is the exact same actor and he sucks this exact same amount in so many different roles. Like, but sometimes it works really well.
It's really weird.
Like him as
Yeah.
Ghost Rider is the same character as him as the guy on Kick-Ass and the same guy that's on these movies. But anyway, some of the characters work. I loved him on Kick-Ass. He was the little girl's dad. You ever seen that movie?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh.
What's-
It's got my favorite scene in it ever.
What was like the big movie he was in when we were growing up?
He was in The
National
Rock.
Treasure?
The Rock.
He was in
Okay.
what was it? Con Air?
Con Air?
Yeah, Con Air.
Con Air.
Yeah, that's right. What about was it National Treasure?
Gone in National Treasure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
he
was
was
Gone in
on
that was
60
pretty big.
seconds.
Oh, that was
Oh,
a good
yeah,
one
that's a good one.
actually.
so many good Nicolas Cage movies, and they're still coming out.
Well, when you have a
He's-
machine gun and you shoot something, like there's so many good shots, but there's also 400 other that missed. Right?
Do you see what he just did there?
I see. He in my mind's eye. Yes, what he
Mhm.
just did.
Because there's a lot of bad ones. We just forget about them.
Yeah, but there are a lot of really good ones.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because it's a machine
He's
gun.
kind of like Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson sucks. Unless he's in a Quentin Tarantino movie, he is terrible.
Well, that's the same with Nicolas Cage, I think. They're like both in tons of movies. I think they're decent actors, but they're not like, I don't think either of them have any like awards or anything, even though they've been in like every movie made.
I think he's pretty good as Nick Fury,
Because he's in
Oh.
for like 30 seconds per movie.
but I'm convinced in the latest movie, The Marvels, that he's a furry.
Oh. Was that movie terrible, as they said?
It was entertaining.
I don't know what
Who's
you're
this?
talking
Yeah,
about.
What are you talking about?
The Marvels, the latest Marvel movie.
Oh yeah, I checked out 40
It's
ago.
really Captain Marvel too, but it has like some new.
Yeah, it's all about the women superheroes. The three of them this time.
Is that why I didn't see it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You're all sexist. That's
Yeah.
why.
So
Yeah,
wait, did Nick
it's
Fury
sexist.
fall in love with like Rocket or something?
Well,
what are you talking
he
about?
just loves the cat, like a
they're
lot.
still going on about the cat.
A
Yeah.
lot.
Oh, the cat's like saved the movie.
Wait a
saved
second. So you're
the
saying
citizens of
a movie full of female superheroes and the pussy is like the focus. You know what I mean?
The
Yeah,
cat,
I know what you mean.
What cat are you talking about?
I don't know what you're talking
So
about.
in Captain Marvel, the movie, he finds a cat that I think is like an alien that eats
What?
Yeah.
people. But it's like, he's like, oh, this cat, I love it. It's so cute. Kitty, kitty, kitty. And then it eats people. And so I can see why that was probably
Captain
like,
Marvel cat.
We'll just say that the Marvels has dozens of them.
cats.
It's just a literal like orange tabby cat or whatever.
Yeah, but it like opens its mouth and
But it's like an
spits out a
alien.
tongue that swallows like
It look-
elephants or something.
Interesting.
Wait a second. Is this the main topic?
And he
What's
loves the
happening
cats.
right now?
Thanks for
Are we
listening
gonna- okay.
to American Fork
Jake's
Podcast.
got to go.
That's been episode 104. So, welcome to the
Five.
podcast.
105.
104,500.
Yeah.
Here at American Forked, we aim to fix America, and we do it every single episode. Then it breaks again, and we have to do it again. So we have another episode.
So here we are.
We've tried it 104 times, and it just hasn't. 105 times hasn't worked.
Wait, tried what?
Fixing America.
Oh, yeah. That's what we do.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's our aim, isn't it?
Yep.
So we do talk about news things, and since we're from American Fork, we have something.
Ooh,
From
there's some
American
good
Fork.
ones. So I hope you bring them up.
Well, he's got one.
I have one
Oh, okay.
from American Fork. Feel
I'm-
free to mention any others.
I'm
Okay.
super excited you have more, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
American Fork News is my favorite.
But as we all know, the American Fork Marching Band is the best, and they just took first place in state and regionals.
Unsubscribe. How do we change this
Same.
topic? This made the news?
This was, yes, American Fork News. It was like the top one.
On which page?
AmericanFork.com.
The Googles.
The
On
Google
Googles.
machine?
Yeah.
You have a weird algorithm. I could Google that 1,000 times. It wouldn't pop up one thing on my
Type
machine.
in American Fork News. You'll see it at the top. One of the tops.
Okay, let's go.
But American Fork always wins.
I mean,
state.
there was like a strangling and
Is that just Phil's talking
Ruby
about?
Frank's daughter. They released the body cam footage of the police officer that found that
Yeah.
took Ruby Frank's daughter away from her.
Yeah,
This is the woman
in
who
American
had
Fork.
the like
The 8 passengers,
Facebook
social
show
media.
that taught you how to raise your kids.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
I have something about that.
What are you? Number 1 is the body cam. Number 3 is April 26th of 23. A couple loses a home. What? There's no
I
American
don't
Fork
know.
anything.
Trent doesn't like American. His phone doesn't like American. The marching band won state and regionals.
Good job, guys.
Good job,
Yay.
American
God,
Fork.
you're good at-
Regionals.
Have
Trent
you ever seen a
unsubscribed.
marching band perform though? Like live?
I did. When we went and watched the
Trent used to
the
always
homecoming
have
game?
to go
Yeah.
to marching band.
And your brother
stuff.
was
my
in
brother
marching
and
band.
sister were in
That's
it, and I
right.
want to die every day.
We've had this
Yeah.
argument like 17
The
times
only
in our
cool
life.
marching band is Ohio.
This brings.
Why are they cool?
Do they
I'll
do the
find a
Mike-
video for
do
you.
they do the Michael
Skimpier
Jackson?
outfits.
I hope so, but not from the level I'm saying.
Do
But
they do
I'll
the
show you.
Michael Jackson?
They're the ones that do like the
performances?
moving, like when they march, they like make shapes and.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They're
Because
the really.
Trent-
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Trent's out there going, yay, shapes!
A triangle.
It's a triangle. I feel better than the American Fork marching band.
No, but what was that girl's name you were talking about?
Ruby Frank?
Ruby Frank. So I have a little tidbit about that. So somebody I know knows a person, like a neighbor, who happened to be watching her kids, 2 of them, in American Fork.
Ruby Frank's kids?
Yeah. And was arrested, put in handcuffs.
Who's
And
Ruby Frank?
This is so. Did you hear about the story where there was this like Facebook influencer
Oh, yeah, yeah.
that was teaching people how to be a better parent,
Yeah, yeah.
and it turns out she was like beating her kids in the basement. Or
That doesn't sound like Mormon people. Go on.
no,
She wasn't Mormon,
She-
so it's okay.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
she Mormon?
I don't know.
Okay.
Why are you so racist?
Well,
What's the thing
I'm
against
just-
Mormons?
Anti-Mormon?
Anti-Mormon.
No, it's just that you guys say one thing outside, then at home you're totally different.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the doctrine of the church is
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
two-faced. Mhm.
Keep it at home. Keep the beatings at home. Anyway, so this person I know has a neighbor who they know very well who was watching these kids and then was arrested because it was like while they were going to find the kids or whatever, and 2 of them happened to be at this person's home. So they're like freaking out, like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And they're like talking to her, I guess, and they're like, we're just being safe. We're just trying to figure out why these kids are with you, like blah, blah, blah. She's like, we're just friends. She's like, I had no idea.
Arrested or being detained? Because there is a difference.
She was is there?
When you're detained, you get put in handcuffs, you get put in the back of the car, you get controlled.
You get your knee put on, someone's knee put on your neck.
Arrested means they will take you in and book you.
Oh.
And sometimes they just release you right after. But
so probably detained.
Like Donald Trump.
This is the better. I understood arrest to be you are handcuffed.
You remember when the cops used to pick you up when you couldn't get away and Jake and I were in the bushes?
Yeah.
You were being detained.
Oh, okay.
And we weren't.
But I was also arrested. So
like, let's pretend like Trent is public masturbating on a train, but we're all around.
Why are we pretending like that? I'm doing that right now. Okay. It's not in public.
If the cops came, they may put all 3 of us in handcuffs and Trent because they're like, hey, we don't know who's doing
You
this.
think
But
they're
we're
going
going
to
to
touch
figure it
my
out real
hands
quick.
after that's what I've been doing?
They wear gloves.
Oh.
yeah, they're
Well, that checks out.
And masks. They're post-COVID police officers.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, that was the story.
Oh, that was really good.
That's
Wait,
good.
what was
Like-
this? That was it?
So they were detained for, and it was somebody I knew that knew him. So it was like close to home, you know.
Did
So
this
no one
girl
else
live in
cares
American
but you.
Fork? I thought she was in like Spanish Fork or Springville.
She was in like a small town down south, Eli or Illy.
Yeah, I guess some of the kids they picked up in like St. George or something is what I was hearing.
but-
and then some of them apparently were up in American Fork.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know how many kids there were.
6.
Six poor abused children.
Because their show it was called 8 Passengers because it was the parents and then all the children was 8 total.
And it was like a video show.
Good math.
Like
It was a YouTube thing.
YouTube.
Thanks, Jake.
YouTube channel. Yeah, it was pretty popular apparently. I had never heard of it.
I think it's hilarious.
I do too. I mean, the child abuse thing's a little mid, but the
Mid. No, that is horrible. It's
Oh, that's what I meant to
horrible that
say.
children had to suffer for this, but I do think it's a good wake up call
I just
to
love.
not put too much stock in people that
Online
make
people.
their life look so wonderful. And
Yeah,
Crystal and I were just watching that new one on Netflix. I can't remember what it's called, but it's about this cult that it's about the twin flames cult. Did you hear about that?
no.
Where it's like your twin flame is like your ultimate love, your lover.
Yeah,
Like, and you could be married, you could be not, you could be a man or a woman, and you get into this group and they help you find your soulmate, quote unquote, but
Okay.
they call it a twin flame.
Ashley Madison website.
Match.com.
But anyway, they ultimately it gets so wild that they're like, your twin flame, like you could be a dude, and they'll be like, your twin flame
It is Nicolas Cage.
is a dude, and you're actually supposed to be a woman, so we want you to transition now. And they're like, okay,
All right, I guess if that's my twin
Wow.
flame.
and the dude's in 9th grade.
yeah,
So
it was pretty wild.
Wow.
But yeah, it made me think of that a little bit.
thanks for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
I really.
Did you find your twin flame?
Yeah, I already found mine, but
Yeah, Crystal really is
Aw.
yours.
All right.
yeah,
She really is, though.
she is. I'm not hers, but but she's mine. She's the best I can
She
do.
made an exception
Yeah.
when she married you.
I think you can say she's the best and just stop your sentence.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Utah news.
Hi, Phil's grandma.
I thought Phil had other American Fork news.
Oh yeah, there was another thing.
I thought it was Ruby Frank.
Oh, this is a good one. And I don't know any of the facts, and I'm probably going to butcher it. But apparently they just found a body in Vietnam of a U.S. soldier who was from American Fork, and his body was recently returned to the family here in Utah
Wow, did he get
from
buried?
the Vietnam War.
Did he get buried in AF? American Fork?
I think so. He was a pilot. I think he was shot down. I don't know the details if they found him in a helicopter somewhere in the jungle or something, but it's pretty wild because we're like, how long ago is that?
Like 50 years removed?
Yeah, or more.
Was it like the 70s, 60s? When was Vietnam?
Maybe 69 to 73
Yeah, 50 years.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, 50 years. So
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy that they said they identified him by his teeth, and I'm amazed that
it survived the jungle or wherever.
Teeth last forever, don't they?
Well, yeah. Well,
no, diamonds.
In the jungle, though, and I probably shared this story before, but
teeth are women's best friend.
When I was in the Philippines, a dog had died right around the corner from our apartment. We walked by it every morning as we left for the day, and it literally took 10 days for that thing to completely disintegrate. I took pictures of it, a time lapse or whatever.
You're sick.
Yeah, why bury it?
Yeah. So I'm surprised that they found something, but apparently his dog tags, I think, were still there. So.
I can see him finding dog tags in metal fillings.
Yeah.
They would last, potentially.
So anyway, it was pretty neat.
Yeah, that was a pretty neat story.
Yeah.
You think 50 years later, you're his parents, probably dead, his family, who knows what's still around? At this point, wouldn't you rather just move on?
There's no next of kin. Nobody cares except for the people who live in America.
And I'm probably butchering this, but I want to say his wife is still around.
It's probably not his wife anymore. He probably lost custody. She's probably somewhere else's.
Yeah.
She's got 3 other husbands since then.
Yeah. But
alcoholic.
So he did have some family.
His eternal flame was here, though?
Yeah. He found his eternal flame.
I think when he was crashing, it was the eternal flame.
Yeah, probably. We're terrible. The Challenger, the brutal deaths of our beloved veterans.
We're a morbid podcast. That's
safe.
no secret.
Yeah, nothing is safe from
the E on our podcast.
Psychopathic.
Phil woke up sensitive a day after Thanksgiving. He's I was so good yesterday, and now today, look at me.
I know.
Thanks, Phil.
How many calories do you think you ate yesterday?
Was yesterday Thanksgiving?
2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Yeah.
I ate quite a bit, but not too. As I get older, I'm a little bit better at not eating until my stomach stretches.
You were to put sweatpants on?
Yeah. So I did pretty good.
I don't think I ate much yesterday because I was I can live off this. I was like a tiger.
I had pumpkin pie for breakfast yesterday.
That sounds good.
And you didn't even feel bad. You're I'm going for it.
It's a vegetable.
Took me 4 hours to make it.
To make pumpkin pie?
It was
the original time.
Pretty laborious on Wednesday. Took me about 4 hours to
I thought you were saying Friday morning it took you 4 hours to make it.
Oh, no.
What did you do?
No, the day before Thanksgiving, to prep for Thanksgiving, I made a pumpkin pie.
Did you make it from scratch with a pumpkin you grew in the garden?
No, it was pumpkin puree, but it was not a standard pumpkin pie. It was a caramel white chocolate streusel pumpkin pie deliciousness.
And he brought us all a slice.
Thanks, Jake.
Made
Sounds
the crust.
Yeah, we were ready for breakfast.
I wasn't.
Oh. Anyway,
wow,
that was American Fork in the news.
Yep.
Right now.
Thanks, Phil.
Welcome.
So, Utah news.
Ooh,
there's an organization that wants to build a 300-foot statue and put it at the point of the mountain.
That's cool,
dude. That sounds dope, actually. Yeah.
What's the statue of?
Here's the statue
of Brigham Young.
300 feet tall. It's like a big. I'm assuming stone of some sort.
Isn't it the secret Mormon handshake they're showing?
No, the temple handshakes.
Isn't it?
I don't know. It's a secret.
Is it a gang sign?
It's It's looks like this.
Oh, is it like God pulling you up?
2 hands holding one hand, grabbing the rest of the other.
It's
hand.
like the way you would hold on if you're trying to if someone's dying. Falling off a cliff.
If you're dying,
that's how you would grab.
Yeah.
Because then you can hold the wrist.
Yeah,
I would show you, but you can't see it.
The idea of it is, it's kind of like a sister statue to the Statue of Liberty, and originally they proposed it to be erected in California, but California turned it down, and the Sandy or Draper has actually moved forward with. It was like a unanimous vote that they would move forward with looking at the plans to see if it's something that they want to put.
We're just throwing money away in Utah.
Yeah, why?
I'm sure all these Californians moved here and thought this would be great to make Utah be as shitty as California.
So this is like the next saga thing in the California saga in Utah.
I think we need more art like that. I think at the point of the mountain on the Bluffdale side, we should have one statue of the guy, and then the other side, the other statue of the guy, like at Lord of the Rings, when they're like, "Is it Lord of the Rings?"
Oh yeah,
where they're like
The two towers.
Yeah. Oh, is that what it is?
I don't know.
We can't call it that though.
Yeah.
But
it's
anyway, just
two
like
towers.
giant like statues protecting the valley, or I don't know.
Or
I
it's
think
just a
art
big one
is
that
so
stands
cool.
over the freeway. So some like
Yeah.
old warrior who just like you drive under his legs on the.
Oh, what about the black
That
guy
big
on the
black
edge
guy
of
on the
his-
couch.
on the edge of his bed?
Yeah.
With
What
his-
about
Porter-
the black
Porter
guy on
Rockwell.
the edge of his
You know
bed?
that.
What's that?
I'll show you that
Yeah,
You
one.
don't know
bring
what a
up
Porter
that.
Rockwell is?
No, I know what that is. I don't know what Jeff was referring
Oh.
to.
Oh,
I
I'll
don't
show
know.
you.
You've
Hold
seen
on.
it. Everyone's seen.
Let me-
Oh,
memes.
I do know that
Let
one.
me turn
yes.
on my private searching.
I do. Yeah, why don't you just look through your
So this
photos.
is called the Statue of Responsibility, is what it is.
Oh.
And
I mean, that is a really dumb name. They should
It's
rename
envisioned as a supplement to the East Coast Statue of Liberty, and California turned it down. So they're like, let's put it in
How
Utah.
much is it gonna cost?
Why is it a supplement? What does it have to do with the Statue of Liberty? I don't get it.
Well,
It's a statue.
it's supposed to be a very tall monument that represents the Liberty. Statue of Liberty represents liberty. This represents responsibility, which apparently goes with. Anyway, that's the idea of it.
How much have we? Did they vote to pay for this or contribute toward?
I don't think they have a cost proposed
That's
yet.
bad.
But
If they can't put a dollar amount to it, it's going to be bad.
It's ugly.
well,
by the way, let me throw that out there.
I wish it was
What's
just the arms.
What's the?
It's kinda
what's
hard
the
to
rainbow thing in it?
it's hard because Utah's a gay state.
Oh,
Utah, it's hard to see. It's hard to know what it is without knowing what it is. Like you see it, you're like, okay, that's a hand. But if you're just driving by the freeway, you're like, it's probably going to cause a lot of accidents.
I like the concept. It just needs to look better.
I mean, they do these things all over the place. I mean, it's like Eiffel Tower. What is that in Rio? They have that statue of Christ. Like
You're saying we need like an iconic thing, almost like a multi-spired 18th century style
I'm telling you,
temple
two guys
right in the middle of
just
town
at the point of the mountain, just two big old.
with like a big
missionaries.
statue glazed in
Missionaries.
gold.
they
on
need to be
top.
missionaries. Just really boring looking white guys
Yeah,
that you wouldn't open the door for anything.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we
I'm
need.
Two missionaries
a beehive,
with like some dogs chasing them.
two bicycles.
Getting hit by a car,
Yeah. Oh,
because that happens.
The missionaries, the dog.
Both.
Yes.
This is a big car.
I watched a dog get run over on my mission, and I laughed so hard. I
You
could
are
not
the
sit up.
worst.
I hated dogs on my mission because they were always like nipping at us, and because they're like from Resident Evil, like
'Cause they're
their skins falling
They're
off.
rabid zombie dogs.
Yeah, they were like rabid, like feral.
Were they nipping at the locals as well?
Yeah. People would just like throw rocks at them. That was our thing, like throwing rocks, slingshots, or we'd like put pepper spray or hot peppers in like squirt guns and squirt them in the eyes when they.
And then
came
right
at us.
after that, you'd sit on someone's couch and talk about just love. You should love everything.
Yeah.
We're all God's creatures except that stupid dog.
Except those dogs.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I would
They
say.
are Satan's creatures. Did you eat dog? When you
They
were
are Satan's creatures.
I did eat a dog, but it was not disgusting looking. It was like the cutest dog on my mission. And then I went back the next day,
and it
had
was
a
in a
good
soup.
meal, and they were like, "Did you like that meal?" And I was like, "Yeah, that was that dog,
That cute dog.
What breed?
black."
That's not.
We've had this exact conversation before
Yeah,
on the
I think we
podcast.
have.
Oh, we have.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did I know that? Did
It
you
would have
know
been
then?
like episode 30.
Yeah.
So like 700 episodes ago.
But anyway, how'd we get on that?
I don't know. You were like, "Hey, I want to tell you all the
Statue,
weird
missionaries,
stuff I'm
dogs being chased
Oh yeah,
by
statues,
missionaries being chased by dogs.
missionaries. Yeah, I don't
Welcome
know.
to the Tangent Podcast.
What kind of sauce do you put on a dog?
It's like a curry.
Okay.
Like it's mixed in with some vegetables and in the traditional
Instead of
Filipino
K9,
way.
you A1, you use K9.
Yeah,
Oh
Okay.
my God.
Okay.
dad joke.
Just came right off the top of
Anyway,
my head, guys.
I'm down with a statue. Do a better one.
Yeah, one that you
artist.
can see.
But at what
it is.
cost?
That's a lot. That looks like it's like solid pewter, like 40 feet tall.
They're actually just going to 3D print it.
Yeah.
700 million pounds.
What do you think about the new statue up at the airport? Have you seen that?
Yeah, the
mountain-
peaks.
the 7 peaks.
I also want to know how much they cost.
I don't know. But do you like it?
Yeah, I think it looks okay.
If it was $7 trillion, is that less liking it or than it was $7?
Well, I mean, the airport's already $3 billion. So what's another couple million for a statue that we don't care about?
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one over there too that they did.
They moved the Olympic one over there as well.
Oh, is that what it is? They just moved it.
They moved it from like the U over
Oh.
to there.
That's cool.
Hmm.
Thank you, reporter Trent.
Have you noticed that they have like advertisements now trying to get you on board with the new flag? It's like on billboards. It's
Utah
like,
has a new flag. That's the old one.
yeah, they'll be like to symbolize the land we love or whatever, like on the billboards. Like they can get those billboards, but we can't even get a billboard advertisement.
That's true.
Let's make an ad that's exactly the same as the flag, but with our logo on it, and see if that passes.
Oh yeah, let's do that and say American Fort
To honor the land we love,
Yeah,
American Fort
This is
Podcast.
a terrible flag. When did we get this?
some
6
junior
months
high
ago?
student submitted it,
Really?
and now that's it.
It looks like Colorado.
If you go up to, we've
Mhm.
seen it. We did this on the episode. But if you go into the Microsoft Word setting of clip art,
That's number one.
there's number
Number-
you just
number
put it
7.
You can just put it together.
Clip art, you search beehive, and that's the. So that's the
Oh.
new flag.
That's cool.
Yeah,
So cool. We had mixed feelings about it, but I think
That's actually
unanimous. Kind of
that's actually
didn't-
why I hung this one up though, because I hate the new one. I'm like, no, this is my flag.
Yeah, I like it. It's got a bald eagle, which should be a seagull, arguably.
A bald seagull.
It's got some sago lilies, which is totally dope, and American flags.
and a beehive.
And 1847, when the Utah Territory was
Why is
established.
it on a stool?
I think that represents the Mormon stool of goodness and hard work.
The beehive has to be raised up off the ground.
I think beehives are raised off the ground so rats and mice don't get to it. But other than that,
Yeah,
Why
maybe.
couldn't it hang from a branch?
Yeah, like it does in every cartoon.
Jake, hurry. Change the subject, please.
Nationwide news. I call this one chauvinistic stabbing.
Oh, another one about Elon?
No,
Oh.
Derek Chauvin
Oh, yeah.
was stabbed in jail.
Who's Derek Chauvin?
He's the guy that knelt on George Floyd for
Oh, he's one of the
9
cops?
minutes.
He's in prison for murdering
he was
George
the
Floyd.
cop that was like
Oh, really? Like
kneeling
the
on
main guy?
neck. Yeah.
Oh.
Don't cops go to like a cop jail?
This
No.
one is a medium security jail in Arizona.
And he got
So,
stabbed?
He was stabbed by one of the inmates.
Is he still alive or?
He was. They offered. He is in the hospital, and he's alive, and he was in not quite in critical condition, but he was, had to go to the hospital.
I have a feeling
Yeah.
this is going to happen to him almost biannually,
By?
Yeah,
like twice a year.
yeah.
Oh.
People don't like him, and it was the whole George Floyd thing that sparked a lot of protests. And
Well, he's doubled down now. Like he's a cop. He like killed that person, racist driven. Like it's
Yeah.
not going to go good.
he shouldn't be in a medium security prison. He should be in a maximum security prison.
What? Why?
See, I don't even think he should be in prison.
Well,
So-
you're right.
Where should he be?
If he's going to be in prison, he should be in maximum security. I just barely watched the new documentary that came out.
Wait. What do you think maximum security is? It's for the inmates, not
It's
for.
maximum security.
But
It's
it's-
in the name.
Yeah,
I think
I'm just
they're in individual cells when it's
Yeah,
maximum.
I think
security.
maximum. You only have like 1 hour of like out time.
You don't have a lot of
Yeah.
interaction with other inmates, is my understanding.
That
Yeah.
makes sense. In my mind, I'm like, he's going to be surrounded by worse people because they're in maximum security.
But they don't.
Oh.
I don't think they mingle in maximum security.
See, I think it should be like
At least from all the TV
It's harder
shows.
to come by to make a shank in a maximum
he
security
should just
prison.
serve his time with Donald Trump on Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
I don't think he should be serving time at all. And so I
For
just,
why?
I just watched the new documentary that came out about the whole George Floyd story,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a lot of information that they withheld from the courts, and the police department lied about the training that the police officers had received. The news just peddled the whole murdered George Floyd thing and didn't tell the people what actually really happened. And so there was, they showed the training documentation. Derek Chauvin actually did use the training, the thing that the restraint technique that he was trained to use, and it was a known thing for police departments to do that.
They even said that in the trial. They questioned his supervisors and had them read off of the manual or whatever, and they're like, yeah, that is a technique. And but really what it boiled down to, they claimed when they asked them, they're like, yes, that is the technique, but he knelt on him too long. I would have done it a little sooner, or got him off his stomach a little sooner or whatever.
Well, they, at least the video that is in this documentary of the hearing, his supervisor said that was not a technique that they used in the department.
Oh, and maybe I didn't watch the whole trial. I watched quite a bit of it, but I probably didn't watch every interview, but at least the one that I did. They pretty, actually, I watched a couple, and they were all like, yes, I've done this before, like exactly what he did, but he did it too long, like type thing, which I think everyone agrees with. Like once the guy quit moving, although they asked them too, they're like, in your experience, you've knelt on top of people. These are his supervisors. And they're like, yeah, I have. And they're like, has anyone ever like suddenly gone limp while you're kneeling on them? Yes, they have. Like, and has anyone suddenly like gone from a completely limp state to super aggressive, or, you know? And they're like, yes, that's happened to me. Like,
it's called it's a possum. It's the same reason they won't approach a guy if they have a gun within their reaching distance. Even if the guy looks dead as a doornail, they will not approach them until they can set up an arrest team to go and apprehend the guy, because people will play possum, and then once you're in range, they'll shoot you or try to run away or whatever.
Yeah. But all this boils back to me. It was as simple as the coroner examination. And they interviewed him on stand and said how much fentanyl was in his system.
Yeah.
And they said enough to kill him. He said he could have had half the fentanyl in his system, and it would have been a fentanyl overdose death all day long. Doesn't matter what the circumstances were.
Yeah, if he would have been found dead in his apartment, they would have ruled it as a fentanyl overdose.
Right.
Given the same exact
so you think them
report.
kneeling on him helped the fentanyl kill him?
Well,
no. Well, suffocation or not being able to breathe is a common symptom of fentanyl overdose.
He said he couldn't breathe while he was sitting in the back of the car.
Yeah, he was saying that a lot.
And then he still was struggling with them. I agree. They could have known better, but having been around people who are like on drugs, it's hard to like sympathize with what they're saying. Like it's like, I don't know what to think. You're telling me this thing. I don't know. It's my impression from watching the whole thing was, I thought they did a good job. Like I've been treated worse by police.
What if they would have shot him?
What do you mean?
Because he still had the same amount of fentanyl in him.
If they would have shot him,
been a fentanyl death. This is like arguing COVID deaths.
Right.
They still go in and say, well, yeah, he's got a bullet that went through his body and destroyed all of his organs, but he had the legal amount of fentanyl that would have killed him anyway.
What the coroner's saying is there's no physical evidence that he died in another way.
Besides the video of them kneeling on him, restricting his air.
Well,
but he saw the video. And he said that if he was knelt on hard enough to obstruct like one of his arteries, he still got the other one. He said it's virtually impossible to kneel on the back of someone's neck and kill him. Now, the other guy came in and said the argument was it was suffocation from being on his stomach, pretty much. Like they should have rolled him onto his side. But then you go back to, okay, they roll him on his side. He still died because he had enough fentanyl in him to kill 3 people. So you're saying he was going to die in the same window, essentially. The cops show up 20 minutes later than they would have. He would have been dead anyway. No, because he apparently ingested more fentanyl while in the back of the cop car.
rid
Oh,
of
like trying to
evidence.
hide it.
Yeah, like they found like the broken capsules in there, assuming that they didn't like plant fentanyl in the car or whatever.
No, it wasn't in the cop car. It was in his own car.
Yeah, because it seems like
Oh,
he had
okay.
he had stuff in his mouth when the cops opened the door to his car while he was behind the steering wheel, and he spit it out. And they actually looked through his car twice and found paraphernalia both times, and one of those was mixed with his own saliva. So, and you could see in one of the freeze frames of the video when he opens his mouth to talk to the police, he had something in his mouth, and so it showed that he was probably in the process of getting high at the time. He also had morphine and heroin in his system too.
he was going to have a day.
But the fentanyl levels was 3 times higher than what's considered a deadly dose of fentanyl.
Which is like 2 grains, right?
Yeah, my understanding was as they were trying to detain him,
Two
he
Smarties.
like took a bunch or whatever. Like, anyway,
Yeah, because you can't get in trouble for drugs you have taken. You can get in trouble for drugs you have on you.
oh, so
Like,
if you eat all the drugs real quick,
Well, so say cops show up and they're
Uh-huh.
like, "What's going on here?" And you're like, "I just crazy. I'm on heroin."
yeah,
There's nothing they can do to you.
right,
Now, if you have the which is dumb, but you have the heroin next to you and all the paraphernalia, then yeah, they can.
right.
It's so dumb that
So you need to inject it all, throw it out the window, and you're good.
Yeah, inject it, Phil. That's the only way.
Yep.
Okay,
Mhm.
that's what they do with heroin. They
Yeah.
inject it.
Yeah,
Or
they
smoke it.
They do smoke heroin.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I think Derek Chauvin was innocent and should be pardoned from jail.
I don't think he's innocent. I don't think he is a murderer. I think they could have said, hey, this guy died. There's public outrage because of it, and you probably should have turned him on his side. You're fired. You can't be a police officer anymore.
Well, there's also
That's a commensurate response.
the
I
fact
think.
that EMS responded like 3 times slower than they would have.
Yeah.
They called EMS before he was even on the ground, and they didn't come for like 9 minutes. And even though it was like just right around the corner.
And what was their reason? I honestly don't know.
I don't know what their reason was. It didn't really go
Yeah,
into
and they showed up, and Derek Chauvin was the one that helped him, put him in the ambulance, and rode with him and assisted in the ambulance.
He
You can
performed
watch all
CPR
that.
on him.
Performed CPR. It's like,
No,
This-
actually, I think it was one of the other officers, but yeah, he helped him.
no, he was. I'm pretty sure that he rode with him in the ambulance.
Yeah, I know it was
But I could be
one of the
wrong.
officers that performed CPR on him, but
Oh, CPR. I'm not sure of.
in
but-
the ambulance.
But what I'm saying is, my impression of the video is this is a guy doing his job. There was no indication to me that he hates the person that he was kneeling on or anything. It was just like, this is what I do all the time. I deal with people like this all the time. And I don't know.
I have a weird obsession with cop videos. I told you guys before, but I have seen so many other videos that I'm like, this is effed up.
Yeah.
Like, this is bad.
Oh, of the cops.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And you're like, what
Oh, yeah.
in the hell?
I mean, it's been like that forever. Now there's just video of it because
Yeah.
everyone's got it in their pocket and body cams and stuff like that. We're talking about 1% of the cops, maybe 1%.
Right. But what I'm saying is there's a percentage of the cops, you see the videos and you're like, this was not good. This person clearly effed up and this person's now dead. But why so much emphasis was put on George Floyd? I don't really know because it is debatable. But
Well,
like,
it's just so public. It looks bad.
yeah.
And that's one thing his lawyer was saying. He's like, he interviewed all these police officers that were like, oh, yeah, he did the wrong thing. And they're like, if people saw like half the stuff that you did, they'd probably be shocked, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like a lot of it looks rough. Like detaining a person that's violently fighting you, like, is a rough thing to watch for the average person. Kneeling on a person because you think he's a big dude. It took 3 or 4 cops just to get him to,
Lay down
just
on
to
the ground.
subdue him or whatever. Like, anything could happen at that point. So being in their mindset, you can think like, okay, there's this crowd of people over here. I don't know what's happening there. Is one of them going to come over and try and do something? I'm holding on to this big dude that, could knock 3 of us over. It's like,
Yeah.
you get in their mindset. It's like, what do you do? They're probably just like, please get here quicker, ambulance. You know what I mean? That's all they're thinking.
Well, clearly,
get here quicker.
Clearly, Chop City or whatever it was called in Oregon showed us that the solution is no cops.
Oh,
that was a case.
You gotta
no cops. That's the solution.
You have to eliminate police departments.
All cops.
Yeah, and I don't want to, because I think most people will agree that this is not a situation of like cut and dry. This is what this guy did. This is what he deserves. It's the image of this white police officer kneeling on this black man for 9 minutes that everyone saw, and that brings up these hundreds of years of racial oppression and everything. And I understand that. That's why, we had all this riots and looting and
it's an easy poster child event for police brutality.
Yeah, it's a sore subject. It'd be like if
the timing was 2020. Everyone had nothing else to do.
Yeah,
everyone was pissed about something, and things needed to change.
It was in 2020?
Correct.
So during COVID.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning of COVID, late March 2020.
Yeah.
And then all of the upheaval and everything, all the marches in every city was like the start of 2020 crap.
Yeah.
It was a crazy year. It was a crazy year.
Yeah, it was. That was a good one. We need another one. Oh, well, we're already having it, I guess.
We are?
Yeah. Well, thanks to Russia and Israel and all that. I guess we're not.
Oh, you mean a crazy year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 23's been... second half of the year has been crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, world news.
Oh.
So, Israel and Hamas has agreed to a potential ceasefire. Essentially a rest from all of the bombings. Hamas has given up, released about 30 or so hostages in Gaza.
Yeah, I read 39 and 49. I'm not sure which one's true.
It was, as of yesterday, I had seen 30, 24 anyway. So I don't know, just under 50 hostages were released. And Israel said that it's up to Hamas. We'll continue to, have this ceasefire as long as they release, I think, at least 10 prisoners every day. Then we'll continue the ceasefire. But Israel
and they have like 500?
Oh, I don't know how many total. Yeah,
I think that's what they were asking for. Is like roughly 500 to be released.
Yeah, and the question is, how many do they actually have?
Yeah,
maybe they're sending pictures and stuff. I don't know. Because they were like, oh, they didn't release these Americans we want. But do they even have them?
And one of them was a Filipino. One of the people they released.
That's not
What are these people just looking at?